Good morning. It is Friday. What day is it today? It's Friday, March 31st. It is the last day of March. I'm Sensei Mish, and it is morning tea with me. I've got a very full cup of tea. Don't want to drop it there, or it's currently seeping just a little bit. And there's the little notification from my email that I am live. Yay! All right. So, to everyone out there, I apologize for last week. I was sick. In fact, it was funny when I was setting up this morning's show. I saw that the previous episode was the one where I had James with me. So my grandson, little Typhoid Mary, we watched him Friday for just a little bit. He was on the show. And then we had him all day Saturday. And of course I taught in the morning, but then dealt with him, when I got home. Yeah, he's the one I got sick from. So, and I have spent this entire rest of the week recovering from doing absolutely nothing because I was sick. I mean, I canceled classes on Thursday, Friday. There was actually an event there were two events I wanted to go to on Friday, couldn't go to. And then I actually canceled classes on Saturdays. So, that's kind of what sucks about being a one-man show and having a school. So, and then, my daughter works on the weekends at another job, so she couldn't take over classes. She has put in her notice though. And so I've already been like, hey, guess what? You're going to start being my fill-in, at least for the kids shows. Good morning, Rob. Atlanta traffic sucks. So Rob is on his way to Indiana to go to Jim's spring camp. He's going there with David Hogan and I don't know. I think Bradley is going to be with him. So safe travels all. Going to have a fantastic weekend. I wish I could be there. It's just, money. It actually, my tickets, I was looking, my tickets to fly to Indiana. Even when I found out, like when Jim was like, oh, hey, it's not going to be at the end of April. It's going to be at the beginning of April. Yeah. Flight tickets were almost $1,000. To fly to Evansville. So, but with his camp, with Jim's camp in September, it's supposed to be the last week of September or like the first weekend of October, however that fits in. So it will be a week before the HKI camp. So my plan in September is to go to Indiana, drive to Jacksonville with Jim and crew, and then I will fly out of Jacksonville to go home. So in fact, it's actually cheaper to do all that. So I'm looking forward to that. Ooh, that's hot. That's really hot. Oh, that's hot. That's some good tea, but that's hot. Okay. Let's see. I've been completely unproductive this week. I've gotten some stuff done for the school. Of course, I'm always, doing little things for the school. Not enough though. Emmett, how are you? Another Friday commute home with Mish. Many people are on the road today. I've been pretty good. How are you, sir? So there is, let's see. I don't have a list of what I was going to talk about today. But just that in my mind, I have been unproductive. So last week, of course, I wasn't feeling well. So in fact, when I was looking at the time, I slept on this couch for like, I don't know, a couple of days. Rob says, cheers, Emmett. Great Six Nations finals. But it was Friday morning. I was like, I want to do the show. I mean, because I can still talk and be sick and, blow my nose and drink tea. In fact, it really wasn't nose blowing. It was really weird, my sickness. I started in my throat. It was not a sore throat. I did not have a cough, but I sounded like I was, I had been smoking for 30 years. And then it moved into my head. I mean, I did have a runny nose. I mean, but it wasn't like constantly blowing. I could breathe. I didn't have a sinus infection. But my head was foggy. So, Emmett's Six Nations was a dream from Emmett. So, yeah, so it was weird. But yeah, Friday, I usually have, Friday's a light day for me. So I usually have I have a private at 2. I have an online modular class at 5, which, I'm still taking, anyone who wants to join, anyone who once a week, grab a partner, 2 people, $109 a month online. So 5 p.m. my time. Here's hoping Rugby World Cup will be another dream come true, from Rob. So, what was I saying? So I was thinking, I'm sick. I'll just ramble sickness. But I was so miserable. Like when I typed out on Facebook, that there would be no show today or, last week, it took all of my brain power to be able to do that, like to type that out. It was really weird. So, and then, but so I after, my plan was, I didn't have the private because he was out of town. So, I was going to do the modular class, but they actually ended up canceling on me. So I didn't have to worry about canceling on them, which I wasn't going to do anyway. I was like, I can still teach. It's, they're not going to catch anything. But I had signed up to volunteer at a local elementary school for one of their bingo nights, and I was looking forward to it. It was going to be so fun. I actually have a couple students who go to the school, so it would have been a surprise for them because I didn't tell them I was doing it. And I did not have the energy, and I didn't want to get anybody sick. So I had to cancel on them, and I felt so bad for doing that. And then I ended up canceling my Saturday morning classes. So I really didn't start feeling better until Sunday. And then after Monday, it's been like I've been able to do stuff. I have done stuff, but just in my mind, like I got behind. There were some things that I've just like, my brain hasn't been able to catch up into today. So, let's see, Emmett, I've been particularly productive. I've launched a new app for our school, launched 2 new Q show programs, tested kids for belts, and took steps to opening a new school, all around a full-time job. Oh, you show off. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Um, one of the things, so one of the things that one of the programs that I've had for kind of, giving back to the community, I've done, what is it? I've had, I have this self-defense class I teach every Saturday. And I was thinking, so we offer that as a way for PTAs and PTOs to make money. So I will go to their school, teach a bunch of self-defense classes, and then they, keep part of the profit. They keep 50%. Basically 50% of whatever they bring in. So I make, what is it? The week before, I made contact with this one PTA I'd been trying to get in with for a while. And on Facebook, my heart dropped last night. Like, I was so like, why didn't I think of that? I felt like I hadn't acted soon enough, but I've already got a different idea for something else. But this is a local school, which I think is good what they're doing. I mean, it's good for their community. And I'm going to copy them because it's, I get trying to find this. So it is basically, it's an after school martial arts program for a week only. It's $20 and they do, no, I didn't want that one. Yeah. It's $20 and they do for grades 2 through 5, they do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they do only 3 classes for $20. And then grades K, kindergarten and first grade are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right after, this is like right after school in the school gym. And then they do, kind of like a little graduation party at their martial arts school with like a pizza and ceremony party. And so I'm just like, seriously? Oh my gosh. Like, that's amazing. Why didn't I think of that? Why, so anyway, because I remember the PTA president saying, oh, hey, do you do, that would be great for our kids, the self-defense. Do you do any fundraising? And I was like, yes. Well, this is that same school that I made contact with that is doing this with another martial arts school. But that's okay. Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, Emmett, best decision I've made in a while was 2 weeks ago. I canceled my Netflix subscription. 2 hours a night freed up. That's 14 hours a week. Time is valuable. Yeah, I absolutely agree. In fact, when it comes to the subscriptions that I have for the family, Netflix is actually the most expensive and the least watched. And so I have actually considered deleting, just canceling the subscription and not telling anybody. So now I will say this, in my drugged and sick stupor, I did actually watch a pretty good series. It was 10 episodes. In fact, it actually might have been on Netflix. But what is it? It was called The Night Agent. And it was a very smartly written, well acted. It was a good show. So, but anyway, I've been trying to catch up. Now, all the things I've been doing though, one of the things that I did this week though is I launched my my new book, which is and it's not launched. It's it is It's up for pre-sale. So I've been, it'll be available. I'll put in the order so it can be shipped on April 24th, probably April 25th, because I'm taking pre-orders through April 24th, but I'll probably do the first set of orders for pre-sale on April 24th. The night agent was awesome. Bet he wishes he never picked up that phone. That girl was alive. Totally. But yeah, it was just one of those that just kind of popped up that I was like, because my wife watches a lot of TV. That's kind of how she relaxes. And so I'll usually be on the laptop, and but we were like, oh, what show should we watch? And it was The Night Agent, and it was really good. So I don't know how long it's been out, but I watched it this over the weekend, and it was really good. And actually, it wasn't over the weekend; it was in one day. But anyway, my book, Naihanchi and the CRMIPT. This is, let's see if I'm going to try and share a screen here, a window. If I do that, oh, there we go. So this is that's the book. It's ready for pre-sale. It'll be published August 24th is the date that I'm going for. I should be on time with that. It is normal price is going to be $24.95. It's going on sale right now for $19.95, $5 off. You do pay $5 shipping, but so it is kind of buying at a cost. If you are a school owner, I'm doing this with all my books now. If you're a school owner and you want to carry this book in your pro shop, you can buy 10 books, use the discount code, and then you end up getting the book for like, I don't know, $17 or something like that each. So you can then pre-sell it and make money off of it in your school. So that is ready for pre-sale. Now, one of the cool things is that I've got a special deal going now. It's a limited edition. Now, the limited edition is going to have one regular copy of the book, which is, it's going to be about 150 pages. There's over 300 instructional pictures in there. There's, of course, text description, and it's going to be a visual reader. I'm using that term from Dan Anderson. It's going to be a visual reader. So QR code, you can actually scan the QR code and watch a mini instructional video on the application. So this is, so you get one regular copy of the book, you get a full color copy of the book, and then you get an actual crimp, your choice in size. So either standard or Magnum, and then you get actually a compression tool. And I don't, here's a picture of the two beside. So this compressor is made by Tack Knife. It comes both the compressor. This is a picture of a compressor and a Magnum crimp. So the compressor is Magnum just because it's the more standard size for that type, but it allows for you to actually come in and strike, and your opponent's going to feel it, but they're not going to like get hurt. Like, it's a great training tool. So anyway, so limited edition, I'm only going to have 10 of these available. So a couple people have already pre-ordered this pack. So if you want this, get it. Unfortunately, this pack is only available to United States users. And that's only because I don't want to have to deal with there's just some countries you can't sell knives to, you can't, even the crimped, even though it's a self-defense / rescue tool. I don't want to have to deal with, sending the package and then having customs take it. I don't want you guys to deal with that. So unfortunately it's only US territories and all that stuff. So anyway, so I've got that is new. Now, of course, for you guys who don't know, the crimp is this. It is it's kind of like a knife, but it's not. It's got serrated edges. It does not cut, but it will grab clothing. There's oh, I see. As I had the screen covered. So Gerald Carter's coming in. Greetings from the front nine. Good, sir. I'm glad you're having fun. Your book is on the way. I'm sorry I didn't let you know, but you should be getting it in a couple days. And then Jim, how are you, sir? So anyway, so you've got a crimp. This is a standard size, but it is basically a foldable baton in a way. So crimp stands for close range control response medium impact tool. I can hammer with it. I can open it. I can control. So all this stuff. Naihanchi is an awesome kata. It's a very unique kata. So for those of you who don't know what it is, it's kind of like, it's a linear kata, different moves. The entries that Bram Frank designed for the use of the crimp or his knives enclosed fit into just, I've seen they fit in naturally into the movements of the kata. And so I kind of took it and ran with it with at Harvey's encouragement. He's like, you got to do a book about this, because he saw the same stuff too. So we're so anyway, so his encouragement, I did came up with about 30 applications. Oh, Jim, you said 850 years old in its present form. The Naihanchi kata. Wow. That's cool. I would love to know, because in the book, in my book, it has a history, what I could find, a history of Naihanchi. Do you, Jim, do you have, and you can send me this, do you have any documentation about the 850 years? That would be great to include, because I wanted to try, because in the book, in my little history, in the chapter of the history, it's like a kind of a choose your own adventure novel as to the history, because I've been told one thing, Wikipedia says another, this book over here says another, so no, it's just what I was told. And then there's stuff like that where it's all kind of hand-me-down information. So so it's one of those things where it's like, well, what are you going to believe? What's the no one knows really the true history. We only know what has been documented so far and what we can guess and what's been verbally handed down and all kind of stuff. So anyway, my goal was to come up with at least 25 applications. I came up with some more applications, but with and then a couple of variations. So in total, I had 31. Ben, how are you, sir? So I ended up with 31. As I was putting the book together, I had 31. And then Bram went up to Boston with Tom Gullo and Ed Frawley, and he taught a crimp class along with some Kyusho International guys, and alongside Evan Pentazzi. So Evan Pentazzi did like a Kyusho part, and Bram did a crimp part, and then Tom and Ed, and then while Bram was there, Evan actually took the crimp class. It was like a user class. So he took the class. And of course, Bram was like, oh, hey, Mish, I don't know if you know Mish. This is who he is to me, doing this book. And Evan was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So he tags me, or, when I posted it, Bram tagged Evan, and let me try and find the post. So he tags him, and Evan actually pre-ordered so Evan Pentazzi actually pre-ordered my book. Okay. He had basically responded. He says, I'd be interested to read it when available. I also believe that it's not only a great knife kata, but also what the Bubishi was with the targets, stabbing targets. And I wish you all the best with it. So that got me thinking. One of the things that when I think of the crimp, I think about a knife, because I carry a knife on me. Okay. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Before I continue, greetings from Japan. Harvey, how are you, sir? And you missed a little texting Bruce. That's okay. You didn't miss much. Just me talking about myself. But anyway, so reading that text or reading that message, I was thinking, I didn't do anything in an open position. It's all closed, because if I carry a knife, I can do everything that I do in the Naihanchi book, Naihanchi and crimp book, because it's closed. But the crimp also opens. And so that got me thinking. So I went from 31 applications, and then I came up with another 4, which I played with last night with my guys. And dude, like totally two of the applications, one is actually closed, one is open, but it's one of those that is very counterintuitive on the attack. But our reaction was like, and it's so funny because what I visualized doing, the body reaction was a lot different. So I ended up going for different targets, which is way cool. Way cool. So basically, instead of 31 applications, I now have 35 applications, potentially 36. We played with another one, and then we had to end class because I was going on to another class, and so it might end up being more than that, because I do want to explore it a little bit more in an open position. So kind of excited about that. So when we talk about productive, that's pretty much the most productive I've been. Yeah. And so of course I talked to Rob yesterday, because of course we were talking Star Trek, and he's like, oh, so there's going to be an advanced book? Yeah, no, it's not. It's just going to be one book for right now. But I'm really excited about that. Okay, so Harvey's just getting up for work. Emmett, I've just finished a handwritten book. I've always kept notes on training since I was about 11, so I've compressed all my notes on our curriculum, which my daughter is really, really trying to get her hands on. She calls it the school Bible. Hey, no, that's awesome. So it's funny. Who was I talking to? Oh, I was talking to one of my students, my private, that he's in fact, Tom, who's in South Carolina, I think. I'm trying to get him to go to Jacksonville this year. So we'll actually get to see each other in person for like the first time in like a decade. But he was asking, we were talking about the Naihanchi book, and I've already got some pre-sales. My record pre-sale is the Q-Show Internet, or is a Q-Show Information Guide, which was, I think, 62 pre-sales. So if I can beat that, that's awesome. So everyone, you have until April 24th for pre-sale. The which is Jim's birthday, by the way. That's why I chose that date. He was asking me about other projects, and one of the things I've always wanted to do, because I've been putting my curriculum in a video format as a reference for my students. So when you become a student, you get online access, and then you can access all the different stripes and belts and all that kind of stuff. And I've wanted to then actually put that into a book so they could have a paper copy. So you don't have to access the video, but they have the paper copy. And of course, it would be a visual reader. They could scan the QR code and then go straight to the video. Hope everyone has a great day. Hope the camp goes well, Jim. That's from Harvey. So yeah, Emmett, if you like, when it comes to organizing everything, that would be awesome for you to be able to put together. And if that's something that, like, if you publish that through Amazon KDP, you'll have a professional looking book for your school, because that's actually what I do for my student handbook. I just put it on KDP. I put it on Amazon for $10. It cost me like $2 to buy personally. But then when students come in, they get this professionally printed handbook. And so that's that's just an option. But that also, brings in, that potentially can give you more money if you're going to put something together like that. Putting your curriculum out there. That's anyway. So just an idea. I encourage people to do that. Jim, thanks you, Harvey, if you didn't see that already. Let's see. So for those of you who can make it, I know that there's people driving right now on their way to Washington, Indiana for Jim's spring camp. As always, nervous about the camp, but you know what, Jim? It always turns out well, right? It always does. So yeah, it's I wish I could be out there now, but I can't. But I am going to be out there in September. That's not going to stop me. In fact, I'll probably just end up buying the tickets soon, just so they're done and over with, and I don't have to worry about, I don't have the money to buy tickets. So he's going through the rough draft of our book. Sweet. So even though I did get a couple, so I've already transcribed the audio that Jolene uploaded for you, for us. I have to edit it, but it is transcribed, so it is in some type of gobbledygook text that I can go through. But we're actually looking really, like, I think you put, as I listened to some of the audio, we got the Czech Republic and Denmark up there. So I don't know, 6, 7 more countries if you're going to add those. So I'm really looking forward to hearing those, because then we'll get those out there. Bobby Stroop, how you doing, sir? Morning, Bobby, from Rob. So anyway, so we've got a lot going on. It's when Tom was asking me what my next project was, like I was telling, commenting on Emmett, potentially I've got, my curriculum that I want to put in a book form. I want to, I'm working on Jim's memoirs. And then I've actually started writing, and this was kind of before, like right before I started getting sick. I started writing some ideas down for some kids books. So I have an alphabet book. I just need an artist, and I sent that stuff off to my nephew. He's an artist, so hopefully he'll be able to do that stuff for me. And then we have, but I was thinking about like kids books that are teachable. So I've got my cat Dojo over here. He's sleeping on the couch, but I was thinking Dojo the Karate Kitten. And like the first book would be his first karate lesson, and he gets hooked, and he meets his friends Carl and Willow and Zaw. And so Carl is my nephew's cat. So if I can get, if my nephew can do the artistry, like he'll make it look like all the cats. Willow is my stepdad's cat that my sister took in after he passed, and then Zaw is Bram's cat. So and it's basically would be their adventures, and I think that would be like, I do want to do like kids books of like, who is Gichin Funakoshi and who is, Bram Frank and all that kind of stuff. But I think it would be, I don't know, I think it would be kind of cool to have this ongoing series. So like I've come up with 2 stories on dealing with a bully. So we'll have the nonviolent story for those who prefer a nonviolent, where Dojo the Karate Kitten, saves his friend from a bully through using his words and empathy and all that kind of stuff. And then I have another one where he deals with a bully and actually defends himself, and but faces the reality of going to the principal's office and getting in trouble, but still is like, I'd rather be in trouble for defending myself than to continue getting bullied. So, and then they deal with focus and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, so there's just some, I've started writing those ideas down. So I think that would be really, really cool. Yes. Yeah, I think it would be a great idea. Tears in Rain. So you mentioned that. So so far what I've set up for Jim, we're just at over 100 pages on the book. So I sent him what I have so he can read it. I know that there's some names misspelled. I know that there's some other, minor misspellings in there. But just to kind of get an idea of, he can correct me on all that. And then, but there's, I was thinking about like some of his cornisms. And so like, cause we'll also have pictures in there, but I haven't added the pictures yet. But Jim, one of the things I was thinking, the opening quote to the book, like, you open it up, it would be, the sound of one hand slapping, which is the title of the book. And then you have that introductory quote into the book, is that mini monologue by Roy Batty from Blade Runner, Tears in Rain. So I think it's a great fit. I think it works right in, and then we'll just kind of go from there. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So once we actually have a copy that is near finishing stage for Jim's book, we'll do a pre-order on that. And that'll work out. That'll work out pretty well. I'm looking forward to that. I was thinking the same thing just last night. Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Rob asked Jim, did you figure out who gets to play Photo Uki for the cover? So one of the things that Rob is doing is that he's actually going to, I've talked to Jim about this. I've talked to Rob about this, about my ideas for what I see for the cover. And so Rob is going to try and take some pictures. And in fact, I think I actually talked about that a couple weeks ago, using James. So we're so Rob's going to be taking those pictures, and then we'll just kind of Saturday we'll just kind of roll through that, see what people can come up with. So I'm looking forward to that too. So that's coming together. But yeah, I've got all these book projects, but I do need to focus on the school. So I do one of the things. So like I, got kind of a kick in the gut last night. One of those things that I was like, why didn't I think of that? There's a school that's working with another school, after school karate. What a great way to give back to the community, and what a great way to get kids into the school, to introduce kids into the school. So what I was thinking is, and this was completely independent of seeing this. I was actually thinking about this the other day. So last summer I did an offer. It was $300 for the entire summer. Just one, like you could do 2 payments, but it was, essentially just one payment. And you got to basically come to as many classes as you want all throughout the summer. I mean, yes, I'd be, there would be some classes that, you couldn't come to because the school would be closed. Bram's camp. Last summer I went to San Francisco for Brandon's camp. I'd like to do that. I'd like to try and do that again. Not sure if I'll be able to make it, but basically $300 for the entire summer. Come train all you want. And I was thinking I was going to offer that again. I didn't get any takers, but it was one of those last minute thoughts last year. So I've already got everything set up. I just need to start promoting it now. So I've got, so anyway, so one of those things was I've got, I was going to basically offer it to, what is it? I was going to offer a way for PTOs and PTAs to raise money is for every kid that signs up for the summer, or really not kid, but family, because an adult could come if they wanted to. Any kid that wanted to sign up, any family member, I would give back to that school $100. So it's $300 for the summer. Train as much as you want. I'm gonna give the school $100. So another thought I was thinking, and the reason I want to charge the $300 is because I don't want to devalue what I do. And that's why I don't I charge $159 a month. Every time I tell somebody that, they're like, oh, wow, that's actually not that bad. I did actually have a guy tell me the other day, that's really expensive. It's like, well, it's kind of comparable. It's like mine is one flat fee. I don't charge anything else. I don't charge for testing fees or registration fees. I give you a uniform. I give you a shirt. The uniform wears out. I give you another uniform. Like I don't nickel and dime you on that. And then the whereas somebody might be a little bit cheaper, but you're going to pay belt testing fees, you're going to registration fees, you're going to be stuck into a contract. Me, just month to month, So so people really like that. They're like, ooh, that's really cool. Now Dan Anderson, he does do, like, if you commit to him verbally, if you commit to him for say 6 months, he does give you a discount. And I've considered that. But overall, I don't want to devalue what I do. So, doing like $100 for the first month. Yeah, because you're going to pay what, $100 for the first month, and then, you're stuck with, I don't know, what was it, $160 for the next month. So it's just one of those things. So, because I was thinking, it's like, well, I'll just charge $100 for the summer. Kids can come as much as they want, and I'll just give the whole thing to the school. It's like, but that's not reality, because if that student really likes training, it's like, well, how much do you charge? Oh, well, $159 a month. It's like, oh my gosh, we paid $100 for the entire summer. So it's just one of those. Or I could break it up into, like, here's the first half of the summer, here's the second half of the summer. So I could break it up so you could, so you pay, whatever for the first half, whatever for the second half, if you want to do it all together. And then giving a portion of that to the schools. So that's, and in fact, just splitting in half, that just kind of popped, splitting the summer in half, that just kind of popped into my head too. So, because Bram's camp is kind of halfway through the summer anyway. So that, I don't know, that might work. But also, if you're going to pay $300 for like 9 weeks, there's, what is it? For 9 weeks, I think it was like, maybe it was 10 weeks, 9 weeks, 8 weeks. No, 8 weeks. It was like $350, but it's actually offering 9 weeks worth of training. I can't remember. I was doing the math or something. Morgan, how are you, sir? So I charge $25 an hour. I tell them that if they think they will train more than 8 hours a month, then it's smarter for them to pay me a flat fee of $180, and then they get 12 hours a month. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's 3 hours a week. Okay. So, but see, that's more private training. For me, I actually charge $75 for a 30-minute session, or $100 an hour. So that's what I charge. Let's see. A bunch of bad guys lying on the sidewalk with Jim stepping over them would be an awesome cover. Oh, that would be great. Yeah. No, we would, Emmett, I don't know if you were able to sign in last week, or if you watched not last week, but the week before. So the title of the book is The Sound of One Hand Slapping. And what is the sound of one hand slapping but one hand coming up under stomach 5, or, up underneath the jaw. And so I want to try and get that. And one of the perspectives was maybe from Jim's perspective of the hand coming up. The other perspective was from behind, what is it? From behind the person getting hit, and then you see his hand on the face. And one of the ideas that I had was, what is it? One of the ideas I had was a wraparound cover, and so like on the cover you would see like the hand and the face, and then as you open the book up, it is you see the arm. Yeah. The title of the book is The Sound of One Hand Clapping. So and that's the short title. So The Sound of One Hand Clapping. Basically it's funny stories from the life of Jim Corn, or something along those lines. And the cover is a slap. The cover is an open hand palm strike to stomach 5 up underneath the jaw. That's the idea. I may just have Rob take the photo of my hand. It's kind of gnarly. Yeah. I don't know. We're going to take a bunch of photos or Rob's going to take a bunch of photos. If those turn out great, then they turn out great. If we can't find something that we like, or if we decide to go in a different direction, then we'll do that too. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to it, because what I'd really like to do, I would really, if Rob can take that perfect picture that gives us an awesome cover, that Jim just falls in love with, and that I fall in love with. I mean, it's really Jim's book, but if we can get that cover, then and if Jim can get me all the material that I need, we could actually have a published book before September. That could actually be a thing. So for Jim's camp in September, like if anybody hadn't ordered it and not picked it up, they would actually be able to pick it up. So, or just buy one from Jim, get it autographed and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's kind of my idea. That's where I'd like to be with that. So there. Let's see. What else is going on? It's so funny. I got up today and I was like, I will admit I spent like an hour on TikTok just vegging out, because I was like, my brain just does not want to work. There's those things where I know I need to get things done, and I'm not getting those things done. And it's killing me. I don't know. It's aggravating me. So I'm trying to get over stuff. So anyway, let's see. Okay. So, Mandalorian, Rob and I were actually going to do a Mandalorian show. Oh yeah. In fact, I don't have money yet, but I actually have 4 people who are going to be signing up for that so far. But yes, I totally agree. I mean, you can already register for it, but I have not made the event or anything like that. So, in fact, Morgan, that's what I will work on right after I get off today. I'll make sure that I get that done, because all the graphics are done. I just have to go online, and it's one of those things, like, I'm so close, I just haven't done it yet. And yeah. So that'll happen. But Rob and I were going to do like a halfway show for Mandalorian. That was actually going to be last Friday, but, or maybe even last Sunday, but it didn't happen, unfortunately. and then we'll do, let's see. So I don't know if we're going to do that. We might just do an end, because we've got 3 episodes left. We also have 3 episodes left of Picard. Now, Picard has been really, really good. Like, if you guys didn't tune in 2 weeks ago for our halfway show, Rob and I talked for 3 hours covering all the little nuances. It's just been an amazing show. And then we had the show last week, was really, really good. And then there was yesterday's show. And yesterday's show left a little bit to be desired. There's a guy on YouTube. His name's Dave Cullen. He's really like, he's from Ireland. One of those very, like, he actually calls out woke stuff and stuff where I'm like, I didn't see that was woke, but I don't know. But he has talked major crap about season 1 and season 2 of Picard, but he loves this season. So his review of this last episode was like, and he's actually one of the ones, he's seen the entire thing. He's got to binge watch the entire thing. So it's one of those where he's like, actually, he says, this is actually the worst episode of the entire series. like you really should watch episode 7 and episode 8 at once, because you get the whole story. And so I watched his little thing yesterday, and I was like, oh yeah, I mean, he totally breaks it down. And that's what Rob and I were talking about yesterday. So I don't know, I don't know. It was one of those where Picard so far has been so good that this last episode was like, it just kind of deflated all of the tires in the car, so hopefully we will get back up to steam next week. Mandalorian has been super good. I'm really looking forward to how far it's going, where it's going. And we only have 3 episodes left of that too. So the way they ended this last episode was so cool. Leave lots of questions, and we had some cameos. Love seeing Zed in that. It was so cool to see kind of a live action Zed. And then let's see, but good positive news on the Star Trek front. June 15th, we are getting season 2 of Strange New Worlds. So I'm assuming it's only going to be 10 episodes, like the previous show. It could be more, but I think we're only going to go, I think it's only planned for 10. So that's going to be, so we got season 2, June 15th. We've got, it's been season 4 of what do you call it? Of Lower Decks. That is supposed to come out in the fall that's supposed to come out in the fall. And then we have, let's see, I think Prodigy is supposed to come out in the winter. And I think we get 20 episodes. So season 2 of Prodigy. And then Discovery, we won't see season 5 of Discovery until 2024. So they're really kind of stretching it out. Discovery season 5 will be its last season. Let's see, we're going season 4 of Lower Decks, but I think that they've already been approved for a season 5, which is kind of cool. And then we'll have, and even though season 2 hasn't even aired yet of Strange New Worlds, they have been awarded a season 3. So yeah, kind of excited on the Star Trek front. So that's all positive news. But anyway, that's so to summarize, I've got a new book coming out. You can pre-order it now. I don't know if I did a, oops, let's see if I can, if I go, hold on. Nope. Oh, here we go. I thought I had copied and pasted that. So you can go. So that posted to, that only posted to whatchamacallit. But if you go to that website, go to artisanmartialarts.com/product/Naihanchi -CRMIPT, spelled CRMIPT. Or you can just go to my website and click on the Pro Shop. That's probably the easiest to do. Go there, order the book. If you're in the United States, you can get the special pack, which is 2 copies of the book, color version, black and white version, crimp, and a compressor tool. You get to choose the size of crimp. The one that I've been playing with is a fidget spinner is a standard. So this is, my hand's kind of, not super big, a little bit more than average, but this is a standard Magnum. I love me personally. That's what I use in the book, is a Magnum. This one is just one of the trainers I have, hence the red on there. Anyway, so we've got that. You can buy the special pack. Those, only 10 of those, limited edition, only 10. And you've got, what is it? Those will be shipping in May. Okay. Because I have to order the books, get them in, and then send them out. So those will be shipping in May. And then let's see, working on Jim's book, coming up with other stuff. Came up with more applications, and with more applications and editing the video, I actually already preset a date for to do another photo shoot with my son, so we can get those into the book, because I'm still going for that April 24th. And I actually have to shoot some Q Show Corner episodes, because I'm hitting points that I don't have episodes for. So there. Anyway, yeah, that's all the news that fit to print. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you all next week, because that's really all I got to say about that. So, love to you all. Peace, good health, live long and prosper, and be